So, Peter Crouch, Champions League Final this weekend. Where do you stand on this one? Do you feel like it's just Real Madrid's for the taking?
I'm kind of on board with that. Yeah, I think Real Madrid, like they just get the job done all the time, and it's like it's such a special football club, and you can't kind of see past it. But Dortmund have had such a different run to the final, and they've played really, really well. Certainly, they defended so well in the semi-final, and Jadon Sancho was fantastic, and they've got players that can hurt Real Madrid. But I can't see past Real Madrid winning this one.
I mean, there's just something about Real Madrid, isn't there? Because, in the Premier League at the minute, everyone's complaining about Manchester City. They're boring, they win everything. But I feel like with Real Madrid, it's just a little bit different, isn't it? The fact that they win everything in Europe, it's just kind of accepted.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I don't know. It's the history of the football club, and obviously where City have come from.
You're not trying to say that City's got no history,
they have. Listen, I've got my mum's side of the family are all City fans. So, but I just mean Real Madrid. I mean, they've won the European Cup and the Champions League so many times, more than any other club, and that's the heritage. And Real Madrid I put on a level above kind of anyone else, and I think that's just it's kind of their competition. And there's teams with fantastic history in this competition, but none more so than Real Madrid. And I think it kind of elevates you. When Jude Bellingham went there, for instance, I'm like, it does take you to another level. I think if you walk in with that Real Madrid kind of badge on, you've just been in a Champions League final, it just elevates you to that other level, and that's what that club does.
And of course, Spurs could have been in this competition next season, but they just couldn't bring themselves to do Arsenal a favour, could they?
No, they couldn't. That was a strange game, really, really strange. Obviously, the manager couldn't understand it. But I was at Spurs as a 14-year-old. There is a deep disliking of Arsenal, so I can understand it from a fan's point of view. Obviously, the players, they want to get the job done, and they unfortunately didn't. Manchester City are such a fantastic side. I mean, they could lose to them at any time. So. I think that was part and parcel of what went on. Unfortunately, they just finished a little bit short. Aston Villa, I think, deserved it over the course of the season.
So, of course, with that game, the players, they're on the pitch, they want to get the win. But do you almost understand the position of the fans then because of that rivalry?
Let's be honest, right? If Arsenal had won the Premier League, they'd all be in here now still, and I think that would wind up a lot of Tottenham fans. They've got to go to work with these people. It's a local rivalry, I think that the thought process was it would be it'd be insufferable. And I get that. Yeah. And of course Tottenham want to see their team in the Champions League, but I think over if they had to choose one, or stopping Arsenal getting in the Champions League, I don't know, quite a few of the fans would have taken stopping Arsenal.
Now, the England provisional squad is out. What did you make of it? Were you happy with it?
Yeah, I do think that, you do lose something when, there's a lot of caps with Marcus Rashford and Jordan Henderson as well. The left-back situation as well with Ben Chilwell as well. They're the only three, obviously they were the ones that were raised. I do think that certainly a provisional man squad, but maybe they've earned their right to not be in that squad. If he doesn't think he's going to take them, maybe it's respectful to leave them out of the 33-man squad, because they've done so much for England. But Rashford especially, I just feel like you've got someone like that on the bench, regardless of form, he can do something that no one else can. I feel like I think Marcus was one maybe that I thought I'm maybe a bit unsure about.
So for you, would you have had Marcus Rashford in that provisional squad?
I think I would have him in. I just feel like he's not going to start every game, but if you're desperate for a goal, he can create something out of nothing. In the final kind of 10-15 minutes.
You yourself have been to a few World Cups. What is it like being in those provisional squads and waiting for the call to see if you've made it or not? How do you find out about that?
Yeah, through text, believe it or not.
Through text?
Well, the usual, the England squads usually get a text from someone at the FA going, you're in the squad. But I always remember, got a call for the World Cup squads. And I remember Franco Baldini in 2010 told me I was in the squad. And I was on the golf course with my dad, and he called me. And he said, what number do you want? Can I choose? And he was like, yeah. So I was saying to my dad, oh my God, I'm playing. So I said, well, number 9. And he said, you're number 9. I was like, what? So then I said to my dad, I'm number 9 for England in a World Cup. And my dad was like, think of how many kids want to get in a play for England, how many kids want to get in the World Cup squad, how many kids want to wear the number 9. On this day, it's you. And I think I played 2 minutes in the World Cup. So it was a great moment at that time.
But you still played
but
2 minutes.
Yeah, and I was number 9.
With that number 9 shirt. I think we've got to look at the positives of this.
Yeah, look at the positives, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
you still played with the number 9 shirt and you still achieved the dream of thousands.
I did, yeah. But I don't know why, I just don't understand why he's giving me that number 9 though. Like, give me number 33, you know what I mean, if I'm going to play 1 minute.
So you didn't like the chance, you didn't like that you were set up like that,
well, I just thought,
with that number.
I did, I thought.
It was taken from you.
Yeah, it was a bit. But listen, I played in 2006 and that was, all my dreams come true, scoring as well. And it's just a shame we didn't go on and win that one. But yeah, it's a special moment getting called up for your country and being part of the squad. It's just so different. So many people are watching back at home in places like this.
Yeah.
And whatever you do affects the mood of the country. Yeah, it's something special.
I mean, how did you deal with that pressure?
No, I mean, for me, I loved it. I mean, I was part of that kind of golden generation of players, but wasn't in the golden generation. Do you know what I mean? It was like Bex, Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney, Terry, Rio, Ashley Cole, and I felt like I was kind of just beneath that kind of, all the pressure was heaped on them, and I just went and enjoyed it. And I think that kind of came across. I didn't feel that kind of pressure, and whenever I played, whenever I played for England, I felt I gave a good account of myself, and I loved it, and it was such a special thing to do.
Now, England, we always say it every year that it's coming home, but I feel like going into this tournament, fans are allowed to be feeling quite confident about England's chances.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many players you'd swap. Harry Kane's got 40-odd goals for Bayern Munich. Phil Foden was absolutely sensational. Jude Bellingham's potential Ballon d'Or winner. Saka is so close to the Premier League. Obviously defensively, I do feel like we're not the strongest as other teams, but going forward, we're as good as anyone. We have a chance. I'm not going to say any more than that.
And is there a nation that you maybe look at and think they could spoil this for England?
Yeah, no, I look at this. I think there's so many nations. I think sometimes we're blinded by, how we see these players every single week. We think, we're going to win it. No one else can get near us, and we're kind of blinded by our own patriotism, maybe. But Germany have got so many good players. Holland. I look at Belgium, Portugal's squad is absolutely ridiculous. France, even Croatia. Like I never talked about. There's so many teams that can stop us, and I think it's harder than quite a lot of maybe fans think it's going to be. I still think we've got the ability to beat anyone on our day, but that some of those players and teams are fantastic.